Hello everybody, welcome to today's Okey Dokeys tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a dragon fruit dragon. As you can see, he's got his little wings back here, he's got his spikes, and he's got his tail. Cute little legs, cute little head, nose, all of the things. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make him. For this, you're going to need a couple of things. You will need all of these colors of Chanel yarn. So we got white, our green, black, and this wine colored maroon. You can use whatever colors you like. These are just the ones that I'm going to be using. This is for the horns and the spikes. These are for the insides of the wings. And for the tail, these are for the dots on the wings. And then this is for the base. Okay? So these are all of the colors that you're going to need. Okay? You're going to need a crochet hook. You're going to need 16mm eyes with little washers. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. 16mm eyes with washers, scissors, a stitch marker, at least one. You can use multiple. I'm just going to be using one. A yarn needle. And I'm going to have a marker to mark down my pattern as I go, okay? And you're going to need a lot of stuffing, okay? I just have like a big pile of it next to me. But however much stuffing you like to use for your plushies, okay? The crochet hook size I'm going to be using is a 5.5mm, and we're going to just jump into the pattern, okay? The list of stitches required is right here. If you do not know any of these stitches, don't worry, I will be explaining them as we go when they come up, okay? This is also an intermediate pattern, so it's not necessarily for the faint of heart if this is your first pattern that you're making, okay? Perfect, now let's jump right in. Alright, so to start, we're going to be making the head, and we're going to start by making a slip knot, okay? So to make this slip knot, we're going to wrap the yarn around, well, usually I start with 2 fingers. We're going to take this yarn right here, pinch it between our 2 fingers, just like this. Oh, sorry. We're going to wrap the yarn over our fingers in an X pattern right there, pinch it between our 2 fingers here and our thumb, and we're going to turn our hand over so that we just have this stripe across the front and the yarn down here, okay? We're going to take our crochet hook, we're going to insert it in through this loop, take the yarn here, wrap it over just so that it goes underneath this crochet hook, and then we're going to pull the yarn through that, okay? Then you can, once the yarn is properly pulled through, you can just take it off of your fingers. See this loose tail right here? You're going to take that, and you're going to take the loop that you just made, pull it tight just like so, okay? That's how you make a slip knot. You get faster and faster at it as you go, okay? We're then going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Chaining is just wrapping the yarn over the hook and then pulling it through a loop, okay? I just did that 6 times, all right? Chaining is probably the easiest of all of the stitches, so once you know how to do that, it makes it easier to do the rest of them, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to skip this chain right here. It's a little bit hard to see with Chanel yarn, but you're going to skip this first chain right here, and then you're going to go into the one after that, okay? You're going to single crochet 4. So we're going to go 1. Let me show you how to do that very slowly. This is going to be a single crochet. You're going to insert the yarn into the stitch that you want. You wrap the yarn over, turn your hook down so that you can pull it in through that loop properly. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to wrap the yarn over again, turn it down, and then pull it through those 2 loops, okay? That's a single crochet. If you ever get confused, you can go back to one of our other videos and it can show you kind of how to do it a little bit more in depth, but that's just a quick little tutorial for you in case this is your first time, okay? We're going to single crochet 4, so that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. We are then going to we're going to do we're then going to single crochet 3 in the same stitch. 2, 3, and while we're doing that, we're going all the way around this loop right here, okay? So we're kind of doing it on the other side right here. We're then going to single crochet 3, 1, on the other side of the chain, okay? This is very important. you're doing those 3 single crochet on this side, and then you're going to go onto this side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then you are going to increase in that last stitch. Okay, and now you should have, let's double check, but you should have 12 stitches on your crochet, on your piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. And then we're just going to pop a stitch marker in this last one that we just made. Perfect. That's round number 2. Round number 3 is going to be an increase. 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then 3 increases. So increase, increase, increase. So 3 increases, and then you're going to do 3 single crochets. 2, 3, increase, and then another increase in that last stitch. Okay? There's the front of your schnoz. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit more on the complicated side. Okay, your stitch count now should be 18. Okay, the next steps are kind of a little bit interesting. I'm going to teach you a new stitch. Okay, you're going to single crochet. Ooh, crazy, I know. Single crochet, and then you are going to do a bobble stitch. Some people call it a bubble stitch, some people call it a bobble stitch. I call it a bobble stitch, but the pattern calls it a bubble stitch. Okay, they're the same thing. So you're going to wrap your yarn around your hook. You're going to put it into the next stitch. Okay, if you've ever done a double crochet, it looks exactly like this. Okay, wrap the yarn over the hook, pull the yarn through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Okay, you're going to wrap the yarn over the hook again and then pull it through 2 of those loops. Okay, if you've ever done a double crochet before, you're going to be like, oh yeah, just wrap the yarn over and pull it through again. You do not do that. You wrap the yarn over the hook and you put it back into the same loop as before. Okay, wrap the yarn over the hook, pull it through, wrap the yarn over the hook, pull it through 2, and then you're going to do that 2 more times. Yarn over, insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're going to do that until you have 5 stitches, not 5 stitches, 5 loops on your crochet hook, and then you're going to yarn over and then pull through all 5 of those loops. Okay, that is one of his little nostril thingies. Aren't you so excited? I'm so excited. Okay, then you're going to single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do another bubble stitch. Woo! Yarn over, insert, pull through. Do a whole other bubble stitch. Again, if you're confused by any of these stitches, we have better stitch guides for you for each of these stitches. So if you ever get confused, just go check one of those out or email us if you have any more questions. Okay? Another bubble stitch completed. Okay? We are then going to single crochet, 11. So basically you're just going to single crochet the rest of the way. Okay? Okay, that's row number 4, and the stitch count should be the same as the previous row, so it should also be 18. These next 2 rows are going to be the same rows, and that's going to be just single crocheting all the way around. So you just be single crocheting 18 times if you have the stitch count right, and you're going to do that for 2 rows. Okay, so for row 5, you're going to go all the way around, and then for row 6, you're also going to go all the way around in single crochets. Okay, for round number 7, you're going to single crochet and then increase, and you're going to do that 5 times. So it's just 1 single crochet and then an increase. You're just doing that 5 times. And then we are going to single crochet 7 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to increase in this last stitch. Perfect. Put that stitch marker back in there. that's row number 7. Your stitch count now should be 24, okay? And you can see that it's starting to slope up a little bit right here, the nose, and then it started to have this little bit of a slope, okay? For round number 8, you're going to single crochet 2, 1, 2, and then increase, and you're doing that 5 times, okay? Okay, now we've done it 5 times. We're going to single crochet 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to increase in that last stitch, okay? Just like before. Okay, your final stitch count should be 30, and you can see that it's kind of increasing a little bit more. It's kind of having that upward slope. See that right there? Perfect. Okay, round number 9, super exciting. You single crochet all the way around, so that should be 30 single crochets all the way around. Okay, that's round number 9. Round number 10 is going to be 4 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, and then a decrease. And you're going to do that 6 times. No, it's not decrease. It's an increase. 4 single crochets and then an increase. I was like, wait, that's not right. 4 single crochets and an increase, and you're going to do that 6 times. So just all the way around. Now this is going to be another really exciting round. And that's just going to be, well, three more exciting rounds. It's just going to be single crocheting all the way around for 3 rows in a row. So 3 rounds in a row, you're going to just be round and round and around, okay? And your stitch count should be 36 by now. If it's not, I would double check that to make sure you didn't miss any stitches. So single crocheting all the way around 3 times, okay? Let's go. Okay, so that's the end of those 3 rows. Once you're done with those 3 rows, it should start looking something like this. Isn't he cute? Oh my goodness gracious. So this next row is where we're going to start decreasing, okay? So you're going to start by single crocheting 4, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to decrease. And you're going to do that same thing 6 times, okay? Okay, doing that last decrease. Your stitch count should be 30. Beforehand it should have been 36, and because of those 6 decreases, it is now down to 30 stitches, okay? If it's not at 30, you might want to go check something back in your rounds, because sometimes I know that I might accidentally do an extra increase or an extra decrease when I'm just single crocheting all the way around. So it's good to keep track of that. Now is the time for you to put your eyes in, okay? You can't put them in on this area. I'm going to put them in a different area, okay? And we're going to see how it works out, okay? We might hate it, we might like it a lot. I want him to look cutie instead of angry. So you could put them in here. I don't want them to be blocked by his nostrils though. So we'll put them up, put them up a little bit higher. So with plushies, you kind of have to be really specific with your eye placement. That is cute as heck. Oh, I love him, okay? So we're doing a little bit of our own twist of how we want this to look, okay? Make sure that when you're putting the eyes on, you're putting them with this side down. So this is going on like that, okay? And push them all the way so that they stay in pretty good and they don't look like they're popping out of his face, okay? Cutie, huh? Okay, that's your little eye placement TED Talk. So, next, we are going to single crochet 3 and then decrease. And we're going to do that 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, decrease. Or, yeah. You're going to do that 6 times. Okay, now your stitch count should be 24. Yes. And now you can see it's kind of closing a lot more. We're going to be doing that same thing again. So we're going to decrease, well, we're going to single crochet 2, and then we're going to decrease. And we're going to do that all the way around, so it should be 6 times if your stitch count is right. Okay, that's row number 16? Yeah. So that's row number 16. You should have a stitch count of 18 by this point. And so yeah, the next round is going to be the next round is going to be a single crochet and then a decrease, and you're going to do that 6 times or all the way around, and you'll have a stitch count of 12 by the end of that. Okay, this is that last decrease. Once you get to this point, I'm going to recommend that you stuff it, because the stitch count is now 12 and it's only going to get smaller from here. So if you just stuff it now, then it'll get it over with and you won't have to try to like cram everything in here at the last minute, okay? So you're just going to take your stuffing like so. And you're just going to cram it in there like so. You don't need to super cram it. That's as much stuffing as I'm going to use for it. Like that. So you're going to, now that you have it like this, it is very plumpeted. It's very beautiful. I'm going to kind of move some of this extra stuffing to his schnoz because it doesn't look like a bunch of it on his schnoz. Like so. Boop, boop. Cutie. Okay, then we're going to decrease all the way around, which will be 6 times. And if you do that, you have a stitch count of 6, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. We just take that stitch marker out, like so. And then I'm going to fasten that off. Boop. And then what I always like to do to pull it close, because you have this big hole open at the back, okay? You want to make sure that that gets closed, and you don't want, because firstly, it looks weird, and then secondly, you don't want fuzz coming out everywhere. So I just thread the yarn through a yarn needle like this, and if it's a small enough hole like this, I'm going to go through each of these stitches, full stitches. If it's a bigger hole, I only go through the front loops to pull it close. Oh, and sometimes you get stuffing when you're doing this, so just keep an eye out for that. You might have to clean it up a little bit afterward, so just keep an eye out for that. And pull as you go, because if you try to pull it all at the end, sometimes the yarn snaps. This yarn is pretty good about it. It's either it snaps if it's like not as good yarn, or it won't pull all the way, which kind of sucks. But and then just hide this extra tail in here, because you won't be using this tail to sew the head on. You'll be using the one for the body. The neck will sew the body on to the head. Okay? So there's the head. Okay, now that we finished the head, let's move on to the next step, which is going to be the body. So it's good that we get these out of the way because these are the biggest pieces. Once you get the biggest pieces done though, then the rest will be fine. Okay? Next piece, the body. You will also be using Wine Time Maroon, okay? Or whatever color it is, the body color. You're going to make a magic ring alternative. And since you haven't learned how to make the magic ring alternative, I'm going to kind of show you how to do that. Okay? Okay. You're going to, you're going to basically do what you made earlier. You're going to make a slip knot. Now that you have a slip knot on your hook, you're going to chain 2, okay? Now that you've chained 2, you're going to go into that first loop, and you're going to single crochet as many as it says that you should. And in this instance, that's 12. I've heard many people say that you can't put 12 single crochets in one loop. That is incorrect. You can do that in a magic ring alternative. Trust me, I have done it, and I will do it now, and I will show you, okay? You're going to do 1, 2, 3. You're going to fit as many as you can on one side. Before you get over to this tail, fit as many as you can. 4, 5. You can usually fit 6. 6 on one side. Okay? It's a little cramped, but trust me, it works. Then you're going to go ahead and take this and pull it a little bit. Okay? Now we have all this extra space. Just keep cramming them on there, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It works, okay? Trust me. And the loop at the top, y'all might be like, that loop is too big. Nobody's gonna see it. He's sitting on it. Nobody's gonna see it. And also, if it bugs you that much, you can do it with a magic ring. But magic ring alternative, it still works with a magic ring alternative, okay? So, there you go. Magic ring alternative. Put 12 single crochets in it. Throw a stitch marker in, okay? The next step, round number 2, is going to be a single crochet and then an increase. And you're going to do that all the way around. So that will be 6 times. At the end of that, your stitch count will be 18. Okay, this is the last increase. Perfect. Okay, now you should have a little circle, like so. Then you are going to single crochet 2, 1, 2, and then increase. And you're going to do that all the way around, which should be 6 times. At the end of this, your stitch count will be 24. Okie dokie. There's that last increase. Now, for round 4, you're going to single crochet 3 and then increase. I know it's very hard to grasp the concept of just adding 1 every single round. Single crochet 3 and then increase. And you're going to do that 6 times as per usual with the ending stitch count of 30. Alright, do that last increase in here. I realized that I didn't tell you what an increase is. An increase is just 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, okay? So I apologize in advance for that. It's nothing crazy. You just go back into the same stitch and do another single crochet, okay? Nothing crazy. Next round, which is round number 5, will be 4 single crochets and then an increase, okay? And that will be 6 times around. We'll just do it 6 times until you get all the way around, and then your end stitch count will be 36. Alright, that's the last increase for that row. Then you're never going to guess what our next round will be. It will be single crocheting 5 and then increasing, okay? And you're going to do that 6 times until you get all the way around, and your final stitch count will be 42. Alright, putting the stitch marker back in, and you won't guess what this next round is. It's actually not single crocheting 6 and then increasing. It is single crocheting around 4 times. Just single crochets 4 times. So you're going to go around and around and around and around and around and around, okay? Does that make sense? So you'll be doing that 4 times. It's round 7 through 10. So 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 times all the way around with just single crochets, okay? Let's get started. Okay, that is round number 2 of those. I should have gone into singing instead of crocheting. I think I should have. I think that should be my profession. Anyway, round number 3. Working on round number 3. Alright, and that is the end of round number 4 of those. Meaning we just finished round 10. Ooh, we did it. Okay, all the way around. Now it is a bowl. Very nice. Okay, now's the fun part. Well, all this is the fun part, but this is the particularly intriguing part, in my opinion. What we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretend that I'm crocheting when I'm saying this. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're decreasing. Woo! And then we're going to single crochet 5 more. 3, 4, 5. Decrease. And we're doing that all the way around, okay? Single crochet 5, decrease, all the way around. Okay, now we're done with that row. You should have a stitch count of 36. And speaking of 36, you're going to single crochet 36 all the way around for round 12, okay? All the way around. Alright, that's the end of round number 12. We're going to go in with round number 13. And that's going to be, you're never going to believe it, it's 4 single crochets and then a decrease, okay? You're going to do that 6 times all the way around. The final stitch count of 30, okay? Alright, perfect. That is row number 13? 13. Yes, your stitch count should be 30. And speaking of which, for row number 14, you're going to be going all the way around. 30 single crochets all the way around if your stitch count is accurate. For the whole round. That's the whole round. Alrighty. That is for row number 14. Row number 13 is going to be 3 single crochets, you guessed it, 2, 2, 3, and then a decrease. And you're going to do that 6 times, so your final stitch count will be 24. Alrighty, that's round number 15. Round number 16 is going to be 24 single crochet, 24 single crochets all the way around, if your stitch count is accurate. So that's the whole round of round number 16. Okay, that's round number 16. Round number 17 is going to be, you probably also guessed it, is you're going to single crochet 2 and then decrease, and you're going to do that 6 times all the way around. Your final stitch count should be 18. Yeah, your final stitch count should be 18. Okay, speaking of 18, this next round, round number 18 actually, ha 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 ha, that's very funny actually, you will be single crocheting 18 all the way around if your stitch count is accurate. Okay, that's row number 18, round number 18. You are going to then, for round number 19, you also probably guessed it. You're going to single crochet and then decrease, and you're going to repeat that 6 times all the way around. Just like that, single crochet, decrease, and it should be 6 times if you have the correct stitch count. Again, your final stitch count at the end of this round will be 12. Speaking of 12, this next round will be 12 single crochets all the way around. If your stitch count is accurate, it should just be all the way around. There we go. Last stitch. You can leave the stitch marker out when you're done with that. Okay, we're going to fasten off and leave a tail. There we go. Leave a tail for sewing. Booyah! There he is. Let's zoom out a little bit. There's his body, okay? This is his head compared to his body. Okay? We're going to stuff this bad boy. Stuff him good. It helps if you do a little bit at a time, but also I am impatient, so I just kind of need to jam it in all at once. Stuff it as much as you would desire. Oh! I think that will probably be good. Kind of disperse that evenly. It should look like an incomplete teardrop. Like so. Ta-da! There we go, and that's in comparison to his head. It should go together like that, okay? Moving on. That is his body. Dunzos with page 5. Moving on to page 6. We're going to do his tail, okay? Tail. It will also be made with the body color. You're going to make a magic ring alternative. This one you don't have to fit 12. Okay, next we're going to start the tail. We're going to start this tail by making a slip knot, which you see on my crochet hook. Then you're going to do a magic ring alternative, and you won't have to do 12 into this magic ring alternative. Don't worry, it would just be 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Throw that stitch marker in that last loop. Perfect. And then we're going to single crochet 8. So all the way around. That'll be starting 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This is the second row, by the way. Round. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. There we go. That's round number 2. Round number 3 is going to be 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to increase 2 times. 1, 2, and then single crochet 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. Your stitch count should be 10 by this point. Speaking of 10, you're going to single crochet 10 all the way around. Just like so. And then for round number 5, we're going to single crochet 4, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to increase 2 times, similar to round number 3. 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, those. And then pop your stitch marker back in there. Then for round number 6, well, your stitch count should be 12. And speaking of which, I'm going to stop doing that because it's getting annoying to me personally. You're going to single crochet all the way around, which will be 12. Just like that. Next round, if you haven't noticed, there's a bit of a pattern that we're going through. And this pattern will stay consistent for the rest of the time. So if you want, you can skip all the way to the end and see where it ends, okay? But for those of you who still want it, who haven't figured out the pattern yet, we'll just keep going, okay? This next round is going to be round number 7. It'll be round number 7. So you'll single crochet 5, 3, 4, 5, and then you'll increase twice. 1, 2, and then you'll single crochet 5 down the other side. 3, 4, 5, and then your stitch count will be 14. Then you will, for the next round, which is round number 8, you're going to single crochet 14, which should just be all the way around. Okay, there we go. Last stitch. Now, next part of this pattern, instead of 5 single crochets, we're going to do 6 single crochets. All the way up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Increase twice. 1. Whoa. My count was out. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. 1, 2. 2 increases, single crochet, 6 all the way down the other side. 5, 6. Perfect. And now your stitch count should be 16. Now, you're never going to guess what the next step is. That would just be single crocheting all the way around. This round, by the way, is also round number 10, okay? So single crochet all the way around. Okay. The next round is round number 11, which, if you've been paying attention for this pattern, this sequence, you're going to single crochet 7 all the way up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then increase twice. And then single crochet all the way down. Seven. There we go. And then the next round, you probably guessed it, is just going to be single crocheting all the way around, which is 18. The stitch count should be 18 by this point. Okay, that's round number 12. Okay, round number 13 is going to be similar to round number 11. It would just be single crocheting 8 all the way up instead of 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then increasing twice. And then single crochet all the way the rest of the way, which will be 8 if your stitch count is correct. Okay, that's round number 13. Round number 14 is going to be single crocheting 20 all the way around because your stitch count should be 20 by this point. So as you can see, I'm in the middle of round number 20 and I ran out of my skein, okay? So what I do when I run out of skein, I'm going to grab a fresh one for you right here. Beautiful, stunning. I'm going to grab the middle. I did that first right. That was actually really impressive. I'm very proud of myself for that. I'm going to put it in an anchored spot. I'm going to take this yarn right here. You see how I have an incompleted single crochet? I could totally just pull that loop through the rest of them, but I'm not going to do that because the best way to join colors, especially if you're changing colors, is to have an incompleted single crochet. You're going to take this yarn with a loop. You kind of make a loop. The best way to make a loop is to hold it between your two fingers right here and your two fingers right here, and just pull that through those two loops to finish the single crochet, and then just keep crocheting. Since I'm doing all the way around with like the 20 single crochets all the way around, oh, I lost it. Since I'm doing the 20 single crochets all the way around, I can kind of show you this a little bit, but especially if you want to make it extra firm, is you can take these two right here, these two strands, and tie them together so that they don't fall apart, okay? That's the best way to join them that I've noticed. That doesn't leave any bumps. You can't even tell that I changed color, that I changed what skein I was using. See? Seamless. And also, we are finishing up this round. Just a quick little tip. Okay. That's round number 14. We're going to be doing round number 15 next, which is going to be single crocheting 9 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And don't worry if you're not this fast. You can totally slow it down. You can totally do whatever you need. You can pause it, whatever you need to do to get through these rounds, because not everybody is as fast as me. And this isn't boasting, this is just a fact. I've been doing this for like 10 years, 12 years. So trust me when I say you probably won't be this fast starting out. And if you are, I applaud you. Good job, because that is hard to do. But anyway, back to actually crocheting, because I should probably be locking in and doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you increase twice. You single crochet 9, increase twice, single crochet the rest of the way, which should be 9. Okay, now that we finished that one, that's round number 15, we're round number 16. We're going to single crochet 22 all the way around, because that should be the stitch count that you have. If you don't have that stitch count, you might want to go through and check all of your previous rows to make sure that you didn't mess something up, okay? It happens all the time, trust me. If you're off by like one stitch, usually I'll just put an extra increase or decrease somewhere. Just sneak it in somewhere nice, and then nobody will even know. So it honestly doesn't matter that much. Whatever you end up doing, it's up to you. Nobody is going to be like, oh my gosh, you used a decrease here. I can totally see it, because chances are very high they will not be able to see it. So don't worry your pretty little head about it, okay? So there's that entire, I just lost my crochet hook. Okay, there's that entire round, which is round number 16. We have 2 more rows, guys, don't worry. We're going to be at row number 17, so that will be single crocheting 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then increasing twice, as per usual. And then single crocheting the rest of the way, which should be 10. Okay. There's that round. This is the last round, okay? You're going to single crochet 24 all the way around, because that's the stitch count that you should have by this point. Like I said, if you're off by a little bit, that's also okay. No biggie. Imperfections are kind of what make crochet kind of fun, because then you can kind of improvise a little bit as you're going. So really don't worry about it if you mess up just a little bit. I don't think anybody's going to be acting up or thinking that you're weird for having a little bit of a mistake. I don't know if I've made any mistakes so far in this pattern, but I've definitely like looked at an instruction and been like, wait a minute, what? And I've had to double check it. So like, no pressure if you've gotten stuff wrong, okay? It's totally okay. I do that with patterns all of the time. So you do not have to worry. And crochet is confusing sometimes. So don't worry. Don't be so hard on yourself if you don't get it immediately. Okay. We're going to fasten it off. Okay, everybody? Okay. Leave a long yarn tail. Because we're going to be sewing this on like a tube. Okay? I'm going to stuff it a little bit. I might stuff it a little bit more as I'm going. I'm going to jam it all the way in there with this crochet hook. I love how I say, oh, I'm just going to stuff a little bit, and then I'm like cramming it full of stuffing. Perfect. This side that's curved up like this is going to be the side that goes up against his back, like that. So not like this, because that will be pointing up and that will be weird, okay? Tail is donezo's. We're almost done with using our wine time maroon. Okay, that is page number 6 done. Page number 7, let's see how many more pages we have. Well, before assembly, we have 2 more pages. So, well, 3 more pages including this one, okay? Don't worry, we'll get it through it together, okay? I'm making it here with you, and it's taken me, so far, it's taken me about like an hour and a half. You haven't seen all of that because we're editing this video, but it's taken me so far like an hour and a half to just do this, and I'm like super fast. So don't worry, it's going to take you a minute to do this, okay? So this next one that we're going to do is we're going to make the arms and the legs and the brow ridges. These pictures are mixed up a little bit, but that's okay. Okay. We're going to be doing arms first, okay? So arms, yeah, we're going to do arms first. Make sure that when you're making the arms and the legs, you're separating them, because sometimes they get a little bit confusing which is which, and you don't want to get them mixed up because they're going to look really goofy if you do that, okay? So just try to pay attention and don't get these two mixed up, okay? Okay, to start the arms, we're going to start with the arms. And we're going to do both of the arms first, and then we're going to make both of the legs next, okay? Arms are going to be, we're going to make a magic ring alternative, as per usual. And then we're going to single crochet 6 inside that magic ring. Alternative, the magic ring alternative. You can also do the magic ring if you prefer the magic ring. So it's whatever you want. I just like using the magic ring alternative. It's easier for me. I just have gotten experience doing it very fast, okay? Stitch marker in that last stitch right here. Booyah. We're going to do 6 increases. So increasing all the way around. Yes, 6 increases all the way around. I used to use this start for every single project that I ever did that was done in the round. I would always start it with 6 single crochets in the magic ring alternative and then increase all the way around and then do whatever from there. But I always started my projects like this. But now I do a bunch of varieties of different stuff. So it's not just this, but this is always a fun one. It's always familiar for me. Okay, that's that round. So that's rounds 1 and 2 done in like 2 minutes. Okay, the next round is going to be a single crochet and then an increase, and you're going to do that 6 times or all the way around because your stitch count should be 12 by this point. All right, perfect. This next round is round number 4. You're going to do 18 single crochets around because that's what your stitch count should be, is 18 stitches. So you're going to do 18 of those all the way around. This is the only all the way around thing you'll do. You won't do like multiple of them in a row until you get to the end. Okay? So don't worry. We don't have to like keep track of like a bajillion all the way around. So don't worry. You'll be good. Okay. This is that last stitch. Dunzos with that. Keep bringing this entire basket with me. It's kind of annoying me actually. Okay. Now we are going to single crochet and then decrease and do that 6 times. Single crochet, decrease. Do that 6 times. All right, that is that row done. So that's row 5 done. Row number 6 is like unto the one before. It will be a single crochet and decrease deal, but you're only going to do it 4 times. Okay, so instead of doing 8 times, you'll just do it 4 times. And that should go all the way around. Booyah. Your stitch count now should be 8. Okay, before, for the previous row, it should have been 12, and now it should be 8. Got it? Oh, the stitch marker is not wanting to go in. Oh my gosh. It's gonna kill me. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is this is where we go around and around and around and around, okay? We're going to go around 4 times just in this 8 single crochets, okay? So 8 single crochets 4 times around. Friendly tip, it's just to follow along with the pattern so that if you get confused by any of the things that I say, or if you get confused by any things on the pattern, that you have the other to reference to so that nothing is too confusing for you. If you get confused by both of us, me and the pattern, you can just leave a comment below about what you're confused about, and we'll try to help you as best as we can, okay? Love you guys. Okay, so now we finished those 4 rows. The hand kind of looks like a potion, almost like a little bottle. And we are going to put some stuffing in these bad boys. It won't really need a ton. I'm just going to take a little ball and get it mostly down to that fist part so that we can kind of get a little bit of squish down there. Just right here. So we have that extra squish. And then we're going to single crochet both sides of this together. So you can take your stitch marker out. And you're going to go in through this stitch right here. And then go through the stitch back here. And then single crochet them together. So when you do that, you're pulling it through all of the loops at the bottom. And then finishing the single crochet the normal way. Okay? If that makes sense. So both sides are now single crochet together. And you can't stuff it or do anything with it inside, okay? I am then going to snip, snip, snip. Booyah. That's one arm. We're going to make the other arm. And number 2, there's arm number 2. There you go, there's the 2 arms. We're going to set those aside. Next, we're going to make the 2 legs. So to start making this leg, you're going to start it very similarly to how you started the arms, except instead of starting with a magic ring alternative and then put 6 in it, you're going to put 8 single crochets in it, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 single crochets. I'm going to put that stitch marker in here. Then I'm going to increase all the way around, so that'll be 8 times. You're going to be increasing 8 times around. Trying to get this done pretty quick. Almost there. And here you are. There we go. Then we are going to, make sure to put your stitch marker back in. Don't want to lose track. You're going to single crochet and then increase, and you're going to do that all the way around, which should be 8 times. So single crochet, increase, all the way around. Okay, perfect. And then similar to the arms, we're going to go all the way around, which should be 24 if you get your stitches correct. It should be single crochet 24 or all the way around. Okay, that is round number 4. We are going to then single crochet 2, so 1, 2, and then decrease, and we're going to do that 6 times, okay, all the way around. So then after that, your stitch count should be 18. Next, for round number 6, we're going to single crochet and then decrease. Just 1 single crochet, not 2 like last time. and then just repeat that all the way around. So that should repeat 6 times, and at the end of this, your stitch count should be 12. Perfect. Done with that round number 6. Now, this is your favorite part, I'm sure. We're going to go around 3 rounds, so 7, 8, and 9, and we're just going to go 12 single crochets all the way around. 3 rows, okay? That is 1, and that is 2, that is 3. Now you won't have to put the stitch marker back in because we're going to do what we did for the arms, and we're going to stuff it really fast because we're going to close it up. We're going to single crochet it all the way across the top. For the other ones we used 4 single crochets, and for these ones we're going to use 6 single crochets because they're a little bit wider. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Make sure to go through both sides. 6, and then fasten off. There we go. That is leg number 1. And that is leg number 2. So now you have your 2 legs and your 2 arms. All of the limbs are done except for the wings. Now let's hop into the wings. Alright, let's get started on the wings. We're going to be doing just these wings, starting with Wine Time Maroon, which is what we call it. We're going to start with the maroon color, and then we're going to make 2 in maroon and then 2 in white, okay? So it's the same pattern for both, just 2 of them are white and then 2 of them are maroon, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. What we're going to do is we are going to chain 3, 2, 3, 3, and we're going to start in the second chain from hook. I don't know why I did that. We're going to do 2 increases. So 1 increase, 2 increases. So that's round 2, or row 2. And so now you should have a stitch count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. We are then going to chain, I believe, flip, chain, flip, and then 4 single crochets across. 2, 3, 4, just like that. Chain 1, turn your work. So we're doing it back and forth. It's a little bit different than doing it in the round. It will also end up looking a little bit different, okay? So we're going to go in again. That was round 3. Round 4 is going to be increase, and then single crochet, 2, and then another increase. And now your stitch count should be 6 by this point. As you can see, we're kind of making that triangle-ish shape. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then we're going to single crochet 6 across for round number 5. Okay, chain 1, turn your work. We're going to, for round number 6, we're going to increase, single crochet 4, 2, 3, 4, and then another increase. This is a really good way to make a trapezoid or triangle-ish shape. BT dubs. Okay, chain 1, flip. Then we're just going to single crochet for round number 8. We're going to single crochet 8 across. Oh, no, that was 7. My bad. I just read it incorrectly. I'm just a little dyslexic. Alright. Almost there. Okay, that's row number 7. Chain 1, turn your work. Then we're going to do round number 8. Row number 8. My bad. I keep reading it wrong. We're going to increase, single crochet 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then an increase. Chain 1, turn your work. And then if you've been following along to kind of how the pattern we've been doing, you're going to single crochet all the way across Your stitch count will be 10, so you single crochet 10 all the way across for row number 9. Yeah, row number 9. All the way across, it should only be 10. Woo! Okay, chain 1, turn your work. And then, round number 10, we're going to increase. I know it's crazy. And then you're going to single crochet 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8, and then another increase. Increase dunzos, chain 1, turn your work. If you ever get confused at any point, go back and rewatch it because it makes sense if you watch it. It makes sense, trust. Okay, next. We're going to single crochet all the way across, which should be 12 single crochets. This is row 11 by this point. Ba-ba. Okay. Now, this might be a little bit confusing, but we're going to make one wing at a time to make this. Well, okay, so there's 2 different ways that you can do this. Let me explain this to you in the best way possible. So what you can do is you can make all of the pieces, fastening off all the pieces and everything, and then go and single crochet around the edges, which is what I'm going to do personally, because it doesn't matter a whole ton. But if you want to follow this pattern to the letter, if you want to follow it to the letter, it does not say to do this, okay? It says to just keep working with maroon and make the white ones first. But for me, I'm going to fasten it off, and I would recommend this to anybody who is just starting doing this, and it'll also make the end easier if you do it like this, okay? But if you do it the other way, that's also totally fine, where you just make the 2 white ones, and then each time that you make a red one, you're going to do the next part, which, if you're going to just do that, then you can just skip to that part, and then I'll kind of show you how to do that, okay? So we've got 1, and we're going to make 1 more of these, and then we're going to make 2 white ones. That's another of the maroon ones. A lot of people ask me, they're like, Siri, why do you not count your rows? Why do you count your rounds but not your rows? Because I don't have to keep track with my rows. My rows just kind of keep track of themselves. I can tell what one's the last stitch. But if you can't keep track of them, that's also okay. You have a stitch marker that you can use. And nobody is judging you if you use a stitch marker, so don't worry. There's 1 white one. Okay, there's the last triangle trapezoid thing. Okay, last side of the wing. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move these to the side for a minute, and then we're going to focus on these. I'm going to take my black yarn right here, and we're going to embroider the designs into this so that it's easier to, like, so I don't have to do it when it's already sealed shut. It just to make it easier for me. So where's my needle? Here it is. Okay. I'm going to take this, start it through the needle, and then if you kind of see how I did it for this wing, there is a little bit of stuffing in this wing. That's really interesting. I probably won't put any stuffing in the wing for mine, but that's really interesting. Okay, I'm going to just kind of go through and kind of fill it up with all these little dots. I'm going to kind of show you what my thought process is behind this. I'm starting at the bottom so I can kind of work my way up. Not get tangled, hopefully. Don't want to go crazy with it. Just want it to be subtle and cutie. I want to make sure that you can see it even with using like so when I crochet them together. Those are like very sideways. Ah! It's okay. You won't be able to tell in a little while. Can time lapse this. But that's kind of the gist. I'm going to do that with both. That's kind of like what one of them, like what they should look like. Kind of like that, and you can do that for the tail as well. I'm going to do that too really fast. There's that wing. There's that tail. So all of them now have their little dots. That's the dragon fruit part of the dragon. So now that they have all of their dots, we're going to go ahead and single crochet these together. We're just going to set this aside. Okay, here we go. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to line them up, one on top of each other. I'm going to show you how to do it with one of these, okay? We're going to start at one of the bottom corners. I'm going to start right here, and we're going to go all the way around here, okay? You're going to take your yarn. It doesn't really matter which side you start at. According to the pattern, I'm going to start at the bottom though, so that I end at the bottom and I can just leave a long tail. Okay? So we're going to attach the yarn like so. Boop. Okay, perf. Yarn is attached. It is secured. We're going to single crochet. We're going to single crochet all the way around it. There's not a specific number that you need to do. You just need to make sure that it's completely single crochet together. I would say that roughly you should be doing 11 up this side, 12 across this side, and 11 on this side. I would say roughly that would make sense, but it's not crazy specific on the pattern, and I'm not crazy specific about it either. I don't think it's any huge deal. No matter what you do, just make sure that you crochet. Sometimes you might need to go get a smaller crochet hook if you can't quite get it in the edges, and that's also okay. Oh. Single crochet all along the side. And then I'm going to show you a little trick that we do to give him that little like bump in his wing or at the points. I'm going to show you what I do to make it look a little cuter, okay? And this isn't necessarily in the pattern. It's like briefly mentioned, but it's not specifically like, ooh, you should do this. So when you get to that corner piece, we're at the corner right now. We just pushed ourselves to crochet this far. Okay, what we're going to do is you're going to single crochet 2 in 1 in that corner loop. And you can chain 3. And then single crochet 1 more in that. And then keep crocheting. So you kind of get that little point. Even better is if you take one of the loops, the middle loop, like the second loop, and you pull that a little bit. It creates a beautiful point. Crochet hacks of the day. And then along the top, halfway through, so you're going to crochet about like 2, 3, you're going to crochet about 6, 5, 6. You're going to chain 3. They say to double crochet. Chaining 3 makes it pointier. BT dubs. Okay? Or, because I actually don't like the way that that looks, we're going to make it have 2 ridges. So if we divide 12 by 3, so we want to have 1 ridge, 2 ridges. Last ridge here, okay? So we're going to single crochet 3 instead of 6. No, we'll single crochet 4. I can't see, I'm actually blind. Okay, that's roughly it. And it also doesn't super matter. 2, 3. It's not a huge deal either way. There's a point. Cute. 3, 4. I probably should have single crocheted one more at the other one, so we'll just single crochet one more here. So it has those points. You can do it this way, you can do it not this way. Like, it's whatever you want. I just want to have those points so that it kind of has that more edgy look. Personally, you can do whatever you want. Nobody's telling you to do something or not do something. Totally up to you. Okay, just make sure that you're single crocheting the edges all the way around. Okay, you can even forego anything besides just single crocheting all the way around. That's totally fine. Oh. So yeah, I'm gonna do that with both of these wings. It may be a struggle, okay? I'm going to just warn you now, it could be a struggle to crochet them together, okay? It could also not be, okay? It could also just be a breeze. There's not any one particular way to do this. Just make sure that you're getting those together. You could even sew them together with yarn and a needle if you would like. There's not one particular way. But if you do it the way that I did it, it has this nice, it looks like this. And then when you fasten it off at the end, it's all the way at the beginning so that you can just use this tail, and it's not as long of a tail as I would normally prefer, that because that's just totally my bad, but you can use that tail to sew it on later on. So I mean, there's perks. Just make sure that all of your loose ends are hidden, because loose ends don't look nice. They really don't. Okay. Coolio. There you go. That's one wing done. So I ran out of the red right before I was done. So we are going to have to use some of the other stuff to sew it on, because the tail that I have for this guy is minuscule. So it's okay though, because the other ones have really long tails, so we'll all be fine. I'm just going to weave in these loose ends, or just hide them inside, because you can with this one. You can hide them inside, and it's fantastic. Oh gosh. Okay, there we go. We have our 2 wings. So I'll probably put them on like that. I don't know, that just looks better. 2 wings. Oh, you can shape them however you'd like, especially after you sew them on. I'm just kind of criticizing myself. But there are your 2 wings. Okay, we're going to move on to the best part, which is assembly. Let's assemble. This is page 10 BTW. You guys, we've made it so far. We made it so far. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to move all of our pieces to an orderly area. And we're going to take our body and our head. It says to add additional stuffing as you sew, but we're going to ignore that because we already stuffed it to the brim, baby. We are stuffed. So to sew the head on, here's some things you have to be kind of aware of and careful about. You have to get the positioning correctamundo for this guy, okay? So you're gonna set it right here. Usually I would recommend to use pins, but I don't have any pins on me right now, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it and pray that it works well for you if you choose to do it this way. Okay. Sorry, I was up late last night. So, what I like to do is I like to just start at the safest place. So like for this one, it would be like, oh, I want like the farthest back that I want it to go, like the apex, the middle of this. would be right here, okay? And then you can just start safely sewing from that point. Just keep a very close eye on how you're sewing when you're sewing, because it can like skew really fast and start tipping. See, like it's already starting to tip a little bit. So if you keep sewing it in like that, his head's gonna be tipped. But if you turn the body, it's fine, okay? And you just have to keep course correcting as you are sewing. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. Just remember each time you're course correcting. So like, oh, I should probably readjust that so that it's a little bit further back. Blah, blah, blah. You kind of get the gist. As you're going, you're just correcting yourself to make sure that you are on the right path. Like so. And it looks really bad right now. It's giving nearly headless Nick right now. But trust, as you keep going, it'll make more sense. He won't look nearly so traumatized. Like so. Boop, boop, boop. And if you're out of stuffing, I'm not, but I just don't want to grab any more right now. You can just take this stuffing from down further in the body and just pull it up to the neck, and that makes the neck more secure. BT dubs. You might get a little bit of my head in this because I'm a little locked in, but it's okay. Okay, and once you get to this point, you're going to tie a little knot that's super hidden, super cutie, and then hide that loose end inside the head so that it doesn't come undone. Okay? There's a lot of reasons for this, main one being we don't want it to unravel by itself, especially if you're giving this to a child or something like that. His head is a little bit tipped, but that's okay because I kind of want him to look a little bit like deet. Okay? That was on purpose, trust. Okay, next step is going to be the arms and the legs. So remember, these are the legs, the big ones are the legs, the little ones are the arms, okay? These ones are shorter, these ones are longer. And with this arm, I'm going to use the tail of this arm. I'm going to leave it out the back so that I can kind of have a spot. I can have some extra yarn to sew on the wings, okay? So we're going to sew this arm right here at the neck area. So like where the neck and the head, like where the head and the body meet. So we're going to kind of sew that in right along there. Make sure that you measure it out before you start sewing so that you don't just start sewing some random spot and then the arm is like at the front of his face. Trust, I've done it before. It's happened. This is a canon event. And while you're sewing, make sure that you're not getting fuzzes getting yoinked out, because it happens. If it happens, just jam it back in there or pull it all the way out. Whatever is easiest for you. Just go all in or all out. And sewing in the arms is pretty easy unless you want to double back. For this one, I won't be doubling back. But yeah. So for this guy, I want to show you a quick example of like veering from the pattern. So this guy has his arms a little bit lower. Like he has his arms right down here. For this one, his arms are all the way up at the top. That's what the pattern says to do, put it all the way up at the top. But I mean, you can put it down lower if you like. And there's nobody that's going to stop you because it's literally fine. It looks cute either way. It just, whatever your preference ends up being, you can do that, okay? I'm going to put on the other arm then. Okay, the other arm is on. Now he's got his two little arms, but he's still just got his little bum without his legs, okay? So now we're going to put the legs on. This is still step B on attaching body parts, okay? So you're going to put the legs on kind of like that so that he can sit up. It's going to go kind of like that. Try to have it face a little bit more forward so that it kind of balances out when you add his tail, so that it's kind of like that. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of like that when you have him sit down, okay? I'm going to put those two on. Again, while you're doing this, make sure that you've measured out kind of where you want it to go, and that while you're sewing it on, you're kind of like rechecking every few seconds to see if it's still the same spot that you wanted it before. Just like so that it doesn't like move out of the spot that you want it. Alright, now see, if you look, you can see I kind of sewed those in like a very mild V-shaped pattern so that it can sit up kind of by himself. Not really right now because he doesn't have his tail, but once he has his tail, then he'll be able to sit up really, really good. For this guy, he kind of falls over a little bit because he's really, really like back heavy. So once he gets his tail, I'm going to make sure that his tail goes along the ground. He'll be able to sit up really, really good, and I'm very excited for that. Speaking of which, it's now time to sew in the tail. I'm going to kind of wrap that so that I don't have to deal with it. We're going to take that. See, this one has a really, really long tail. Oh my gosh, I just hit the camera. I'm so sorry, audience. I didn't mean to hit you. Okay. We're going to take our yarn. And you're going to take, if you look at the tail, you're going to see one that goes kind of up, and then the other one just stays flat, okay? The one that goes up, you're going to attach so that it's going down. And this, you're going to make it line up so that he can sit up, okay? So I'm going to start right here is where I'm going to place that, okay? And make sure that it lines along the back of your dragon, okay? I'm just going to double check. Perfect. He'll sit up beautifully like that, okay? Just like that. Oh, you can't even see the stitch, but there it is. And like I said, do the correction thing. As you're sewing, you're correcting yourself so that you're not losing track of where you are. You're just keeping on sewing, okay? And you're making sure that it's lined up where you want it to be. Everything's in the right spot, etc., etc. Alright, there he is with his tail. He sits up so good. Yes, it's a little skewed, but that's okay. Nothing a little shaping won't do. He sits up great. And like I said, it's okay if he's not perfect, because he's yours. And no matter what, he'll be beautiful. Okay? So there he is. Now I can't show you to him like that anymore. I have to like squish his tail down. There he goes with his little tail, and he sits up great. He tips over a little bit sometimes, but that's okay. There he goes. He sits up great. I love him, okay? Next step, page, that was supposed to be dramatic, page 12, okay? Page 12, step D, attach 2 larger spikes to the head. And then, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 larger spikes. Oh no, not the horns. Not the horns. I'm going crazy. 2 larger spikes. One on the top of his head and one at the back of his head. Okay, or you could do it like this. I'm going to do it like this. And then I'll start the smaller spikes at like his neck-ish. Okay? Because I feel like he should have like a little unicorn horn. I feel like that. Like that. Yes. That's how I'm going to start sewing them on. Like that. A little bit lower. Like that. And I'm going to keep this in place with a crochet hook while I sew the other one, okay? So we're going to start with the one at the top. We make sure that we get it so that it's directly down the center of his face. So like directly like that. I'm going to take my yarn needle. Oh, he fell over. It's okay. Thread this through like so. And we're going to start sewing this bad boy on, okay? So I kind of want it to be like at the top, but I like want it to be a little bit further back so that it's not like poking out from the top of his face. Or the top of his head, my bad. boop, boop, boop. So we're just going to sew that in a circle. Like so. I mean, you can stuff it if you would like, but you really don't have to. Because we're just kind of chilling. Oh! Let's see if I can jam that in there with a pen. Oh my gosh, I can. Oh my gosh. What the heck? I put it in. Okay. We're going to put the other one in. Okay, there it is. Those are his two big spikes. Then we're going to do the smaller spikes. So these 4 right here. Oh, they're all jumping around. Okay, we're going to put these 4 down. Kind of thinking of spreading them like... See, I can't spread them too much. Oh, he's going to fall over. That's just because I'm tipping him. Don't worry. He sits up just fine on his own. Oh, someday I'll be able to position this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move these spikes up. Yes! That's where it's at. So I'm putting 1 at the center of his back. I'm putting 1 at the base, like right before his tail, like right as his tail starts. 1 in the middle of his tail and 1 near the end of his tail, okay? That's how I'm doing it. This is a side profile. Oh! It fell apart a little bit, but that's okay. I remember where they all go. Okay? Go and do that. I will be doing that. Alright, here are the little spikes along his back. This is for his wing, don't worry, that's supposed to be there. Those are spikes down his back. Now that we finished those, the next step is going to be adding those brow ridges to make him look grumpy. I'm going to make him look... What are some expressions that we can do with this? Wait, let's actually check. What are some expressions that we can do with this? I'm going to put... We can put them like this and have him be happy and like surprised. If we do it like this, he looks like... We just don't want to do it so that he's like angry, because he's not angry. We want him to be happy, like that. We'll put on his eyes, but like that. And it's the same positioning rules, same everything. So just position those however you like them. If you want him to be angry, you can make them more like that shaped. If you want him to be happy, you can make it more like that shaped. If you want him to look really weird, you can make it that shaped. Try to have them be more towards the center of his face. Just the closer you get, the more angry he looks. The farther you get, the happier he looks, okay? Just don't put them like all the way back here, because he won't look happy. He'll just look like he has ears. There's his eyebrow ridges. He looks a little bit surprised, but that's okay. He's so surprised that he's sitting up by himself. He's like, oh my gosh, I can do that? He's so cutie. I actually love him so much. Okay, we're almost there, you guys. We're going... They say at point F to do the black parts, but we already did them, so don't worry, we already did that part. We're going to attach the horns and then the wings. And then that'll be it. So for horns, we're going to just put wherever you think horns look best. So because we put his eyebrow ridges right there, I want to put his horns a little bit further back, because usually they're like right next to it. So we'll just put his horns like right here. Just like right behind his eyebrow ridges, okay? We'll put them there. Okay, there's his horns. And he's so cute. Oh my goodness. This horn is a little weird. I don't know actually why it looks like that. It's got like a weird bump on the side, but it's okay. Okay, last step is putting on his wings. So his wings are going to go just to the side of this one spike. Excuse me, all of these fuzzes are like all over me. Oh, well, we got to put the tail on too. So we're going to do the wings and then the tip of the tail. So wings on like that. That's what it looks like from the front. So we're kind of angling it up a little bit so that it kind of covers all the area that his arms are going to be at. Okay? And then the tip of the tail we'll show you in a minute. Okay, there's his wings. They didn't stick up as much as I thought they would. Well, actually, this one is sticking up like a weird amount, even though I didn't really sew it like that. But it's okay. It's fine. He just takes some slight readjusting to like do what I thought he was supposed to do. Anyway, those are his wings. Yeah, that's really weird. It's like sticking up so much, even though I sewed this one way better than I sewed this one. Okay, now we're going to put the tip of his tail. You don't have to add the tip of his tail if you don't like it, to be completely honest. But it's going to look kind of like that. So do with that what you will. I'm going to sew it on. Personally, it's going to take me like 2 seconds, so I'm just going to yap with you while I do it. It has been a pleasure. It has been an absolute pleasure and an absolute wonderful journey to do this with you guys. I haven't ever done a kit video before, besides, you know, like the dumpster fire. But this is like one that this pattern's been out for a really long time. And so I've never done this one before, and I'm very, very happy that I got to do this. And I got to do it with you guys. Because it's been so fun. Also, if you guys have any questions whatsoever with any of this, you go ahead and let us know in the comments, and we'll try to respond as best as we can. Because I help handle comments, Alexia helps with comments, and some of our other crocheters do too. So, y'all just comment below if you have any questions about any of this, okay? And this side, I would recommend you make 2 of these and then sew them together. But for the sake of the pattern, I did not do that. And for the sake of time, because I'm a little crunched for time right now, but it's okay. Okay, now that that's fastened off, we're going to hide those loose ends in here, snip the yarn. Booyah! That is the tail. Okay, here we go. Let's do the full display. Let me move some stuff around. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we have created this Drya the dragon. She sits up beautifully by herself. Her tail's a little bit crooked, but if you don't look, you don't even notice. Okay? Her wings are also a little bit crooked, but that's okay, because aren't we all a little crooked at the end of the day? This is our OG Drya the dragon. Wings like that. Tail is pretty straight, but it's also a little bit crooked. I mean, maybe the design is just a little crooked. I personally love mine more. But you guys can let us know what you think in the comments. What would you like, my version or the old version? Because both of them are really good, and I like both of them. The designs are really, really cute. Those are their tails. Those are their wings. I really, really like this pattern. I think it's super cutie. I especially love how expressive it makes him. Some of our other patterns don't really have that. Speaking of which, you can go ahead and check out our other patterns if you enjoyed this one. We have tons on our website that you can check out, and they're all so fun. Some of my top ones are, any of the ones on the kits are really cute. I really like the ladybug personally, because my thing is kind of ladybugs. And then I would recommend the dino nuggets or the fishy cracker. Those ones are always fun. We have a bunch of turtles that are really cute that you should go try out if you like those. You can join our Facebook group for exclusive patterns for that. And then you can check out our website if you like this yarn that we used here. We sell it on our website. We also sell a bunch of other kinds of yarn if you're interested in yarn that is not chenille yarn. Okay? And then on our social medias, we have our Instagram account. Oh, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more so you can see him better. We have an Instagram account, and we have a Reddit account if you're interested in Reddit. We have Facebook. We have all sorts of fun stuff. You guys can go ahead and check those out if you enjoy any of this video at all, or any of the things that I said, or any of that. Also, be sure to like this video. It helps us a ton. And then subscribe to us if you want to see more patterns like this, or if you want to see other things that are along these lines. Okay, other patterns, other tutorials, funny videos, etc. Okay, we have it all here. Anyway, that's just about it. I don't think I have anything else to say to you guys. Besides, let us know, like, once you finish these, go ahead and tag us on Instagram, and then we'll try to get you guys added to our page so that everybody can see what an amazing job you did. And it just kind of helps us because we love to see you guys' creations, and it's so fun to be able to see these patterns that we make be turned into something beautiful that you guys make with your own tastes. Like, you guys can change the spots where his eyebrows go or anything like that. So yes, we would love, love, love to see any of you guys' creations, especially if they use our patterns or our yarn. We love to see it, okay? I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys for crocheting with me, and happy crocheting!